Yeah, so we're in Point Pleasant, PA today. New Hope Post Office box, a beautiful slate roof. Sea greens, Vermont greens, buffed out to brown. Found a time capsule in this roof. It's installed in 1988, and it was 100 years old then. This is 2013. The roof's 125 years old. But there's some problems with the intricate work on this roof, and I'll go into that right now. Let's start with the chimney flashing. The gusset in the back looked fine. Counter flashing's functional. Step flashing's okay, but the apron flashing, space nail, got some ratty looking solder work, and it's two pieces actually. Tried to cut it from a 3-footer and piece in the corner. So we made new apron flashing and installed it. I'll go into that later. But here we got an old neoprene boot that, designed for asphalt shingles, 12 to 15 year life expectancy. You got a copper downspout put on the top, I think, to hide the PVC pipe. This roof is certainly worthy of a permanent fixture there. We'll go into that. The Yankee Gutters, all the seams split because hard copper, nice break work. I mean, it was bent nice, installed to free float, but the seams were a problem. They weren't free floating, and I'll go into that. They broke. You have to have some breathing room in this. It's 50 foot long. It's got to move. It's got a downspout on each side, hard set. It's going to push towards the middle and break the seams every time. There's a mock Wonder Goo attempt at fixing broken seam. There's a leak, rotten wood, slate's in flux, and the apron flashing's hard set. Not the end of the world, but you used ferrous metal screws, trying not to face nail. Thing's going to move. It needs to be refastened. That belly, the gutter belly above, is designed to free float. Even the seam in the front allows it to move, but the seams broke. Here's a shot of the back of the house. You can see a wave in that belly because it's moving. That hard fasten apron jumped out of there. There's an attempt at a repair right dead center. That's where we put our expansion joint to give it some movement. Only one missing slate on this whole roof. Front of the house, bad leak in the Yankee. Caused the wood to rot. We had to fix it. There's a split right in the copper. Not the joint, the split in the copper. The joint moved also, but the copper split. It broke like a tin can, as you can see right there. Broke like a tin can. And being flexed back and forth. Another broken seam. There's a shot at that broken. The gutter belly broke. That's why they nailed right through the seam. Hard fastened the seams. They lapped it, soldered it. Used galvanized nails too. We took that out. Allowed that copper to breathe and move. We fixed these joints with a 4-inch or 5-inch custom bent piece of metal to match the gutter belly, and riveted it every inch. Fluxed it, soldered it, cleaned it up, fluxed it, soldered it, as you'll see right there. There's a joint. It's been fluxed and soldered. Anyway, I'll get to that. Buzzing through the pictures. I make the pipe flashings, 1/2 inch bend, series of 1/2 inch bends with a flat lock seam, soldered right up the back where you don't see it. Now, uh, a round hole would be perfect for straight up and down flat roof, but this is not. This is a 10 on 12, so that becomes a little bit more of an oval, compensating for the 10 on 12. You give it about a ½ inch play, which is not much. So you got a pipe that's 4 inches, you make it 4.5. You compensate for 10 on 12, which is the slope of the roof. And you got a nice tight fit. If you don't do it right, it won't work. A lot of guys will make a big sloppy cone-shaped looking thing and to compensate for their inability to find the roof slope and make a proper angled pipe flashing. Nice tight fit, as you can see. There's the chimney apron flashing made up for a 10 on 12. The joints are seamed and soldered. There it's all finished off. There it's installed. Now we like to use clips. We don't like to use a blind strip nailer cleat like a lot of guys will try to do that like they're putting in a piece of siding. This is not a piece of siding. It needs to be held up against the slope and it needs to be held down. No phase down. There's that pipe flange. Extends up 1.5 inches past the pipe and is bent down into the pipe. Permanent. There's a basket strainer installed on all 4 spouts on this job. Another pipe. We replace those hard fastened screws with copper screws. Here's a picture of the base plate for that 2-inch pipe flange, 2.5-inch pipe flange. You see a little pencil line there, a 1/4 inch smaller than the actual pipe. That's where we bend these tabs up. And then we take a ball peen hammer and hammer out a rib around it so that the solder joint has something really nice to grab to. As you can see there, nice and tight. Set it at 10 on 12. That pipe flange goes onto that pipe, nice and tight. Here's our expansion joint, 3/4 of an inch bend back one way, 1.5 inches the other way. It's hard fastened on the right as you're looking because the cap has to be hard fastened or it'll blow out of there. It gets fastened with rivets on the right side. That both pans are allowed to move, and on the other side there's 1 inch of play given, as you can see right there. That can move. Expansion joint. There's a field joint, soldered, slates put back in place, finished, Yankee gutter. Getting a little down dirty on this, doing it on screen, but gotta do the credits.